Everyone knows what depression is supposed to look like. A person in bed, unable to move, crying for no reason, staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning, shutting the curtains and disappearing from the world. That's the image. That's what we were taught. That's the version that shows up in movies, in awareness campaigns, in every conversation we've ever had about mental health. And because of that, we built an idea, a very specific, very visual idea of what a depressed person looks like. The problem is, that idea is incomplete, and that incompleteness is costing people their lives. Because what about the guy who never misses a day of work, who replies to every message, hits every deadline, cracks jokes in meetings, and goes home to sit in complete silence for hours without understanding why? What about the woman who has the full life, the career, the relationship, the social plans, and still wakes up every morning feeling like she's carrying something unbearably heavy before the day has even started? What about the teenager who gets good grades, stays out of trouble, seems totally fine, and hasn't genuinely felt joy in over a year? None of them look depressed, not even close, but every single one of them is. This is what high-functioning depression actually feels like from the inside. It's not dramatic, it's not visible, it doesn't ask for help out loud. It's the exhaustion that 8 hours of sleep never fixes. It's the smile you put on so automatically that even you forget it's not real. It's the strange distance you feel from your own life, like you're watching everything happen through glass, present, but somehow not quite there. You still laugh, but nothing really lands. You still make plans, but somewhere underneath, you don't truly care if they happen. You still love people, but connecting with them takes an effort that nobody around you can see. And you keep going, because stopping, really stopping, feels more frightening than just pushing through. Here's what makes this so quietly devastating. The world rewards people who keep functioning. Nobody pulls aside the person who's still showing up and asks, "Are you actually okay? Are you okay beyond the surface, beyond the performance?" And the person who is falling apart in slow motion, but still meeting every expectation, still holding everything together, still being the reliable one, learns something over time. They learn that no one is going to ask, so they stop hoping someone will. They get so skilled at carrying it, at normalizing the weight, at building a life around the emptiness, that even the people who love them most never notice anything is wrong. And that silence, that long, invisible, exhausting silence, that's not strength. That's a person who gave up on being seen. Depression doesn't always look like falling apart. Sometimes it looks like holding everything together perfectly for years, while quietly running out of reasons to keep doing it. Looks fine, functions, smiles, and still is drowning. There's a version of depression that doesn't announce itself. It doesn't knock, it doesn't leave obvious marks, it doesn't make the person disappear from their own life in any way the outside world would notice. Instead, it hides. And it hides in behaviors that look so normal, so common, so human, that everyone around just assumes that's simply who the person is. That's the cruelest part. The signs are real. They're consistent. They've probably been there for years. But because they don't look like sadness, nobody connects them to anything serious. So let's connect them right now. The first sign is irritability, and this one catches people completely off guard. Because we don't associate anger with depression. We associate depression with withdrawal, with silence, with tears. Not with snapping at someone over something small. Not with that low, constant frustration that sits just under the surface of everything. But for a lot of people living with this, sadness isn't the dominant feeling. Irritability is. A short fuse, a quickness to feel overwhelmed, a reaction that always feels slightly too big for the moment, and a quiet shame afterward that makes everything worse. They're not angry people, they're exhausted people, and exhausted people, after long enough, start to break at the edges. The second sign is the loss of enjoyment in things that used to matter. Not a dramatic loss, nothing that looks like a breakdown, just a slow, barely noticeable fading. The hobby they used to love starts feeling like an obligation. The music that used to move them now just fills the silence. The friendships that used to energize them now feel like performances they have to prepare for. And because it happens gradually, they don't even realize it's gone until one day they try to remember the last time something genuinely made them happy, and they can't. That moment, that quiet, private moment of not being able to remember, is one of the loneliest feelings a person can have. The third sign is overfunctioning, and this one is almost never recognized for what it is. Staying constantly busy, filling every hour, never allowing real stillness, always having the next thing, the next plan, the next project lined up and ready. To the outside world, this looks like ambition, like drive, like someone who really has it together. But from the inside, the busyness isn't about passion, it's about avoidance. Because the moment everything goes quiet, the feeling comes back, and keeping it at a distance takes constant movement. Rest isn't rest for these people. Rest is just the place where everything they've been running from finally catches up. And then there's the last sign, the one that might be the most invisible of all: disconnection from other people, from themselves, from the life they're technically living. They're in the room, but somewhere else. They're in the conversation, but not really listening. They're in the relationship, in the friendship, in the moment, and still feel completely, inexplicably alone. Not because the people around them aren't good, not because the life they built isn't real, but because there's a glass wall between them and everything else. And no matter how hard they try, they can't quite reach through it. And the worst part? They've lived with it long enough that they've started to wonder if this is just who they are. It's not who they are. It's what's been left untreated, unseen, unnamed for far too long. Irritability that everyone called a bad attitude, fading joy that everyone called growing up, constant busyness that everyone called success, disconnection that everyone called being introverted. Every sign misread, every signal missed, not out of cruelty, but out of a world that still only looks for the version of depression it already knows how to recognize. The most dangerous thing about invisible pain is that the person carrying it starts to believe they're the only one who can feel it.